I've been working on this garage rehab for a few weeks now, and there's a whole series dedicated to it. In this video I'm going to be power washing the exterior, and I'm also going to be power washing the exterior of this house. It's a giant 2-story, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it without a ladder. Hey, welcome back to How to Fix a Workshop. My name is Josh, and today we are back at the garage rehab project, and today we are going to be doing some power washing. We're going to be power washing the exterior of the garage, which isn't in too bad of shape, but there's been some tuck pointing done in the past. So the paint, it's looking a little rough here with this tuck pointing. And then on the side over here, there is some mold we want to get off so that we can paint, and some flaking paint up at the top here. So I have my power washer, some cleaner, some wands, gas, and then let's take a look back here and see if the things from last week are gone. Remember, we pulled out a washing machine and an old furnace, and like I expected, those things are gone. So somebody came along and picked those up for scrap. They were sitting right here. The neighbor has started to do some cleanup of this overgrown ivy, which looks pretty nice now. So we're going to clean up back here too, power wash, hopefully get that looking nice and ready for paint. There's a little bit of trash back here. We might clean up some of that before we leave today like we normally do. And then taking a look at the inside real quick. Probably get rid of some more of this stuff, just throw a few of those pieces in the dumpster once again. And then making our way back through the garage. Still haven't gotten anywhere with glass blocks. I want to replace those windows with glass blocks, or I might just go the route, the easy button, and put in some sliding windows, because glass blocks are kind of expensive and I haven't had any luck with finding any for free. While we have the power washer here, I want to also power wash the exterior of the house. Last week, whenever we were here, we were talking about trying to figure out which color to paint the exterior of the garage. And when we looked at the siding, we could see that it's very dirty and gross, and there's a lot of mold and things like that. It's a 2-story house, so it's very tall. We have a special tool for getting up to the top without using a ladder, so we'll get to that in a little while. But let's go ahead and get started with spraying the cleaner on the exterior of the garage. I'm a little more than 2/3 of the way done with the power washing, but I've ran out of hose. This is as far as I can reach for now. I need to go to the store. I'm gonna run up to Lowe's and get another hose. It's one of those things you deal with whenever you're a handyman or a landlord or even a property owner, I guess, is you may just not have the right tools for the job. I tried to plan ahead and think of everything that I needed, and I didn't think about needing some extra hose. But this is what it's looking like so far. That's coming along really nicely. At the bottom there, you can really tell the difference. This is where I stopped. This is as far as I could reach. You can really see that mildew, mold, whatever it is that's growing on the side there that need to get off. And then cicadas are out. And then I need to get the back here. So just a little bit more, like 2/3 of the way done. It's a good time to break for lunch, dry off a little bit, cool off a little bit, which is actually a nice day today. For mid-August, it is in the mid-80s, lower humidity, mostly sunny. So I'm gonna go get that hose, come back and finish the garage, and then tackle the house. All right, I got just enough extra hose to be able to reach all the way to the back. And a little 15-foot section of hose was like $12 up at Lowe's. Kind of expensive, but got the job done. I finished this little spot back here, so everything's looking really good on the garage wall. I'll probably have to come back through and, I don't know, brush it or maybe even spray it off one more time. Some of you may be wondering, why are you doing all this power washing now when there's probably other things that need to be done, like those windows you keep talking about? And that's because I don't know what I'm going to do with those windows yet. Also, I'm thinking that if I power wash now, I can start to see some of the things that I may have to touch up before I paint, such as this, I think it's called T111 siding. It has come apart at the bottom down here, and I need to reattach that. All that old paint was just chipping right off there, and I probably need to do some scraping on that as well, but I think it's fine for right now. I probably mentioned it before, but this is a rental. My daughter and her boyfriend live here for now. They will eventually move out, but they're just looking to have a place to park their vehicles. And at some point, I'll turn this into a 2-car garage, which is probably what it was once upon a time, which you can tell by the bigger opening there. It just has a single, maybe a little bit wider than single bay right now. But we got all that taken care of, so that's all we're going to do in the garage for today. Cleaned up a little bit on the outside here, which looks really nice. Sprayed off the door and all the cobwebs or spider webs there. Cleaned up around the dumpster. Gonna call that number soon and see if they can move this dumpster somewhere else. It needs to go over there, or maybe right here, someplace that it's out of the way. And it's broken, that lid stays up, so that just means that wild animals and things can just climb on in and help themselves, which isn't great. So that's it for the garage, and now we will move on to the house. This is the tool I was talking about earlier that I was excited to share. This is by the company called Janz, J-A-N-Z. I'm not sponsored or anything. I bought this with my own money last year. And this is a telescoping power washer wand. I think it extends up to 24 feet, which is going to be perfect for this house. I've used it a couple of times on my own house. And I purchased this, I'm going to share a sad story. I purchased this because of a sad incident that happened many years ago. The guy that I worked with, that I literally sat right next to, he and I were pretty good friends, and we had been talking about home improvement projects that we were doing on our homes. And I remember one week he was talking about power washing his house. He was going to be doing some painting and getting it cleaned up. It was in the summertime like we are in right now. And it was Friday afternoon, and we'd gotten up from our desks and we were walking around and talking about what we were going to do for the weekend, and he said he was going to finish power washing his house. And I got a call that Sunday evening that he had fallen off the ladder and passed away. And I'm getting chills now talking about it. It was like 15 or 16 years ago, but I've never forgotten that. Almost every time I step up onto a ladder to do anything, I think of him and think about that tragic situation. And anything that I can do to try to be as safe as I can be, and also to avoid getting on ladders, I try to do that nowadays. And especially when you're power washing, water and heights don't mix. So I highly recommend something like this if you have a tall house and you need to reach it. Instead of getting on a ladder to climb up and try to get the top or wherever you're trying to spray with a power washer, spend the money to get something like this. I think it's about $130. It's well worth it. It's heavy, it's awkward, it will blow me back as I'm spraying, but it's definitely better than the alternative. So with that being said, I'll leave a link down below if you'd like to check something like this out, and let's go ahead and clean off this house. I'm only going to really do this side here because it's the worst. There's a bunch of mold and dust and everything on this side, and it's the side that we see most from being in the backyard and side yard. So this is the most important one. I'm going to spray this one off, and then we'll be done power washing, at least for now, at least for today. So every time I make my way down from one end to the other, I'm dropping the telescoping pole down a foot or two and just making my way back and forth. It is a workout. It is a little exhausting and a little fatiguing, but it beats standing on a ladder, and it sure looks a lot better. So we'll just continue with this and hopefully be done very soon, because my arms are already exhausted. How well this is going to turn out, but zooming in you can kind of see maybe the difference. Where's my finger? Up here is where we wash. Down here it's a little dirtier. You'll be able to see that up there too, towards the top. So that is it for power washing. I think that turned out pretty good. It looks pretty clean all the way up. Not perfect, but it's been a long time since this house has been power washed. Probably still need to come back with a hose to get some of this stuff off, as it just kind of made its way down, making a mess from the top. But next week we'll be back on the garage. Hopefully we'll get started on painting. That'll be fun. It'll start to look like we're actually doing something. And until then, please don't forget, if you like this kind of content, to like the video, subscribe, leave me a comment, please. I love to see the comments if there's anything that comes through that's of any kind of advice or just encouragement. And until then, I gotta go home and shower and wash some of this dog poop off of me. I stepped in dog poop, got it all over the hose, and it literally feels like and smells like it's all over me. So thanks so very much for watching.